Craving bookish banter? Welcome to the Spilled Ink and Coffee Society. We're your monthly virtual book club. No assigned reading, just bring a book you love and your favorite drink. Register now, it's free. Simply scan the QR code. It's all about stories, laughter, and connecting with fellow readers. So settle in, pour a cup of comfort, and let's spill some ink. People will be joining, I am sure.
Okay.
At least I know for sure that there's two. And the third one, I sent a text. I was like, 30 minutes. Hello. So how was your yesterday? What'd you do?
I worked out
Yeah.
and we took Tom's dad to lunch. And I came back and took an awesome nap.
Yay.
I know. And then had dinner with my dad.
Oh, see, that's nice.
All the dads. How are you doing with your jet lag?
I've been so cranky all morning. It was better though because I went to bed at like 9:30 and then I fell asleep probably by 10. So that's progress. And then I just woke up one time in the middle of the night.
Okay.
And then I just came out of bed probably around 6 a.m., but I was grumbling and cranky the whole time. And Andrew just was like, he left and slammed the door. He said, you're being such a witch today. And I was like, I'm still trying to get over this. But I did go for a walk. I walked 3 miles.
I'm good.
Well, yesterday I wanted to go to the gym because they said exercise is supposed to help with the jet lag. But I went back to bed. Like, it was so real yesterday.
I get it. It's Hell Week at Orange Theory. So if you go to 4 classes in a 7-day period, you get a t-shirt, and the classes are supposed to be like, they're all Halloween themed. Like yesterday you had to break the curse of gravity.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, which just meant a bunch of burpees.
What?
I know. Like, she would blow a whistle. The witches are here. Do burpees. It was painful. Oh, wow. I'm here talking about burpees and people are coming.
Yay. It's okay. It looks like Jerry is joining us. And then that looks like both of you are muted. I don't know if there we go. Hey. Good morning, sunshine.
Morning. Morning. Chris says hi.
Good morning, Chris. So, Rachel, this is Amber and her husband, Chris. They just PCS'd with the military to Hawaii.
Brilliant.
So she was supposed to be at the book club prior, but they were busy PCSing to Hawaii. Which is awesome. Jerry's getting himself all ready, and then Daniel will be joining us in a bit.
Yeah, she should be joining in. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Your
video looks good.
I see a couple of similar books on your bookshelves to what I have.
I know. Oh, Danny joined in. I know. I'm like trying to read what's back there.
Well, there's the Patrick Stewart book. There's
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
There's my wife's book.
And then there's all the George R. Martin books.
Those are all over there.
Yeah.
And we have them kind of situated like all of that should be. That's the Sword of Truth, and that's all my Emma McCaffrey and Terry Goodkind books. Below that's just like all of our various fantasies, Tolkien. You got the Paolini. Game of Thrones should be up there too. We got them kind of organized. Like fantasies over here, sci-fi is all over here. Top shelf, that's all the Star Wars books. These are all the Star Trek are behind here. They're organized.
It's a perfect backdrop.
Yeah. One day I'll get all mine organized appropriately. I start and then I end up buying more books and things go left. So
And I love it. I love it. So yay. So we're going to say good afternoon and good morning. Welcome to the Spill Dink and Coffee Society, our once a month book club where you can just talk about whatever the hell you want. No assigned reading. Just bring your favorite book. So I'm Casey. Shout out.
I'm Rachel. I kind of want to know where is it Mario or Luigi we're doing for Halloween?
Where's Luigi?
He's right here.
I was wondering, but I was.
There.
Where's your Luigi hat? Hey, you can go get your Luigi hat.
Priorities.
We got this trunk or treat today.
Fun.
I love a trunk or treat.
Okay. Over here.
No. All right. So, friends, I already have a heads up, but today Jerry's going to be discussing two books today because one is actually a short story. And Rachel, I'm going to have you start with Jerry and the short story because it's one of your most talked about books as of late. So I'll let you two take it away.
Look, I even brought some
Oh gosh, I have to
some
talk
decorations.
About the book. Oh my lord. Oh my. Okay. Thanks, Casey. I too have read this book. I'm going to use the term book loosely. I'm sorry. I have strong feelings about this book. I'm going to put them aside for the moment and and sell this book. Okay. So tell me, what short story, author, what are we looking at?
This very flattened, bound piece of toilet paper. It's called The Scampering.
We're such good friends, you and I. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
By Alana Drex and A.M. Mason. Yep.
And so it's a Hey Luigi. It's a physical copy. I'm gonna guess I know this answer, but I need to ask, why did you pick it up?
It was handed to me with some warnings, and they rang true.
Samesies. Can you give everyone a real quick, 30-second, which is probably 29 seconds more than it's worth, but a 30-second blurb, what exactly this toilet paper is about?
So, most of us, I'm assuming, are from Florida, so we all know about the crazy lady who screams at the seagulls. Imagine that lady somewhere in the Midwest. Yeah, I see that. So that crazy seagull lady somewhere in the Midwest just really hates squirrels and then makes a snuff version of the birds. Is probably the best way I can say it. It's a squirrel version of the birds, just in snuff form.
Did it hook you right away? What were your feelings as you started reading the first 2 pages?
By page 11, and there's only 25 pages, page 11, I had to put the book down for a week just to kind of cleanse my soul. And unfortunately, what I wasn't prepared for is right after page 11 is when it really starts steamrolling into the worst content I have ever read.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I can talk. I can tell you exactly what this book is for because it's the same. That's a local publisher, are the writers, and
I don't know. I think it's actually their own publishing situation. That's my thought.
Yeah, they published their own book.
Yeah,
that's what it was. This is literally nothing more than just an example of how their publishing is, with just someone decided to vomit their inner demons all over a page. I mean, because there's stuff in here that you see in all book. You got the little paragraph breaks. There's images. So they're basically just showcasing what they can do as far as the printing. Yeah, the person that actually wrote this, I don't know if it was both of them or if they took half and half or how they decided who wrote what, but they need therapy. Because they're content warning. If you thought the hillbillies eating the roadkill off the road, this lady's going al dente and eating parts of squirrels raw, and then
in her car
on the way home because she can't wait to boil them at home. Then she's throwing the squirrel corpses at people, and then she's making squirrel stew, which, whatever. I got family in, West Virginia and Kentucky. They're weird people, but. And then like her motivations, it's twisted. And then the whole thing, like the flip where it's like the birds, spoiler alert, that the squirrels come at her and then just take it on in the whole neighborhood like a Rick and Morty episode. But yeah, I found that part, like, it was bad enough. Like I'm all for like going into like weird zones with characters. Like, take me out of my comfort zone, show me another perspective, because I like aberrant thought. Sure, this is abhorrent, but it enters a realm of vulgarity that starts hitting on like, was this level of stuff really necessary? You can be extreme without being vulgar, I think is the best way I could put it. And they just went towards the most vulgar, disgusting, like, you have some weird stuff you need to talk to your therapist about. I'm not kink shaming, but seriously, you need to talk to your therapist.
This isn't, I didn't take this as like kink. I took this as like, you're sick in the head. Like,
yeah. But to focus on that portion of it, that's where I think it might be like one of these deep rooted, like, let's not discuss this kind of like interest. Like, what you rule 34 on the internet is yours, but it's questionable.
We are on. We are good friends right now. I think I called this like, this is somebody's drug induced fever dream. Is how I took it. It was that.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting at. Like, parts of it kind of came off like snuff film on a book. Like, and I've read some dark stuff. I've got some, hold on, buddy. Sorry, Luigi's back. I've got some books that have some pretty questionable things. I mean, I've got books where you're pouring molten lead down people's like child's throats. Like, that's horrible enough on it. And that's a Terry Goodkind book up at the top. That's literally in the first book. That is nowhere near as, say the word again, abhorrent and just disgusting as how the latter half of this book went.
Yeah, I felt it was a level of unnecessary.
Yeah, and I would say, like, I keep saying that page 11 part, but like up till page 11, I was actually kind of wondering, like, this is either the worst book I've ever read or probably the most genius book I've ever read, because I really was that crazy lady screaming at the seagulls. It's like, you're kind of, this is your understanding how she is, and then it just enters the realm like, okay, what the shit just happened? Pardon my language, but it took a wild turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything specifically aside from just the grossness of it all, like about the writing style, how did you feel about? I mean, I know I
felt insane. That's why I'm saying I didn't know if this was like a genius way of storytelling at the first part, because you feel insane reading it. Like, you inherently, the whole part of reading is you're inevitably going to put yourself in the perspective of the person you're reading. So you felt insane when you're reading this insane woman's story. But by the last end of the book, it's like, no, this is just garbage. This is, people just don't know how to write, because there's so many disconnected segments where she's in a car, and then she's putting up flyers, and then she's getting a pedicure, and the next thing you know, she's back at a car somewhere. And we're talking, this is in a span of 3 sentences, and there's no connection or flow in between it. It's just literally, she's literally talking to like, sorry, that was a weird thought, and then she's putting up posters.
I have found, and I don't know, I've read a lot of self-published books this year, and I have found that's kind of a common thread. And I know it's hard to call this a book, but I've found that kind of a common thread in a lot of self-published books that aren't good. There's a lot of jumping of, like, in 3 sentences, I'm going from point A to point B and C, and then coming back to D. So that's, I don't know if that's just a self-published thing. I don't know.
I don't think so, because I've read some self-published books too, and yeah, I mean, when you get into self-published realm, you do get a lot less structured because you don't have the quality control. But I feel like the level with this one, this is just bad writing. This is someone who doesn't know how to write, who just likes writing, that just literally took their printer paper, to be gross, and then put a squirrel on it and sent it out. Um,
So if you had to give it a rating, 0 to 5.
can we get a -1 for I'm calling the FBI?
Yes. I gave it no stars.
Yeah, I don't think I could even give this a rating. It's not long enough to even be worth it. The quality of the writing was poor. The content was abhorrent, and not in a good way or a challenging way, like what you'd kind of hope for in a book that challenges you. And like I said, this is nothing more than them just showing, hey, look, I can put a picture in here. Well, we need a story with a picture. Oh, I know, write about the crazy lady with this, and then I saw this one episode of Rick and Morty with the squirrels attacking everybody. Let's have that. Yeah, there's nothing about this that warrants it existing.
So I gave that book 4 stars with the caveat that says justice to the squirrels, and that the best part about the book were the squirrels, and I was rooting for the squirrels, and together we averaged ours out to 2 stars, Rachel and I. Congratulations, Amber. We're mailing this book to you next. Amber doesn't know what to say.
She's
She's
literally
frozen.
Oh no.
She's frozen in fear.
That's what this book will do to you. It will freeze you in place with, yeah.
Oh no.
No, I did say I was rooting for the squirrels. I said the squirrels are my favorite character, but I was just so turned off. Like this.
Yeah, it wasn't even justice at that point because of how vulgar it got. Like, parts of it I liked, like chucking her down the stairs. Hell yeah, I was all for that. But then, and this is going to sound weird. Like I said, I've read some pretty dark things. I like books that challenge my perspective, and honestly, I like reading books that challenge my not necessarily morality, but it's a good way to say this, my personal boundaries. I want to be challenged. I want to see where those levels are. This book didn't even do that well. Like, the parts that she should have laid into that could have been more of the terror and the horror or the gore weren't there. Literally just went to vulgarness. And that's not challenging. It's just gross words. Like, you don't need just gross words. Give me the gross story. Give me the content. And even that wasn't there. So that's why I say there's nothing in this book. I wouldn't even use the publisher for my book, but I published one. Put it that way.
But I totally agree. All right, so then we got to close this one off because, you know.
We just need to move on, yeah.
Right, but I need to ask you a weird-ass question about this book. I feel it justifies a weird-ass question. If the characters, which there's really only 2, but if the characters from this book had to sing karaoke songs that expressed their deepest existential dread, what song would they pick?
I just got like a wave of really messed up ones. I have to go with my first gut thing, is because it literally starts out with her run, and this is like literally the first 3 paragraphs, as she runs over a squirrel and then turns around and goes and scoops it up. So the only thing I could think of is Hungry Eyes. First thing that came to mind, especially because of how much it just lends into that for the first 2/3 of the book.
Your choice of songs is the best thing about this book right now. So I can see the excitement on Amber's face that she's about to get this in the mail. So
yeah.
And now she needs to put Hungry Eyes on in the background
while you read it. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
At least till page 20.
And I love that song too.
You won't after this book.
I mean, I'm never going to think of that song the same from here on. I mean, it's going to be, you know, a lady sitting in her driveway ripping off the head of a squirrel. So, you know.
Is that your husband singing the song in the background?
He's singing something. I think he wasn't quite singing the right song.
No, I just gave him all a little quick.
It's too funny. And I do love, Jerry, that you're such a good sport that you actually brought props
Yeah.
You brought
Because it did say
props.
some of them got smushed when she fell down the stairs. So there's one got smushed. This is the one that got boiled.
This is book club dedication at its finest,
Exactly.
which I love so much. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we will move on. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to move to Danny, and then Rachel can go to Amber. Okay. That way Amber will have she's a smart cookie though, but then she sees how this works out. So Danny, I am very excited to hear, but please show us the book, the title, and the author.
Lattes by Travis Baldree. Here's the book.
I have seen that book around.
Yes, I have the so Casey let me borrow the hardcover. I have the paperback that I read, but little dude spilled some soda on it, unfortunately, so we had a book accident. So I'm
excited to hear, because I don't know anybody who's read this book, which is part of a series.
Yeah.
And why did you pick this book up? What was it originally that attracted you to it?
So I believe this had also been another Barnes & Noble find by the hubby. And when I was going out for my work trip to Colorado last year, we picked this up from Barnes & Noble, and the cover of the paperback cover actually has like a fork and a succubus on the cover. And they're in a coffee shop, and I thought, I was like intrigued, but I was also like sus, like, will I like this book? So I used to be a barista, so I also love that aspect of it, so I wanted to give it a chance. And I did end up loving this book.
Okay, so this is a fantasy book genre?
It is. It's a fantasy book.
And when you first started reading it, what were your thoughts in the beginning?
So my thoughts in the beginning were, it's all about this orc who wants to pretty much put fighting behind her and like start a coffee shop. And she has like these grand plans, but she's and she has, so spoiler alert, we'll put that out there for those who don't want spoilers on the book. But she ends up finding this like magical stone that will pretty much grant your like heart's desire kind of thing if you bury it, do like a certain thing with it. So she's all about starting this coffee shop, and she had kept this secret from her group when she was out questing and stuff. And got the stone. Like, this is the only thing she wanted from the quest. And so she kept it secret, kept it hidden. And she is now putting this underneath her where she's going to build her coffee shop. And along the way, she has there's local gangs essentially that offer protection to the local shops and stuff. And if you don't use us, we're going to mess you up kind of thing. But
Mafia?
Yeah, that's the nice version. Yes, you are. So she's like, oh, well, they're extorting the other villagers essentially, and the shopkeepers, and that's not fair. So she sticks up for a local lady that ends up her neighbor, storekeeper. She's like an elderly lady that comes over and eats her bakewares and stuff, and that's not her thing, but she does love coffee. And that's the whole premise of this, is that the main orc Viv, she had tried coffee in a gnomish town, and then she's bringing this back to start her own coffee shop, and people don't really know what coffee is and stuff, so they're suspect of it, of what is this brew, but then once they try it, they're like, oh. So
did you identified then with this character,
yeah,
this is you, would you say this is you?
Yeah.
Because you love coffee?
Loves coffee, very awkward and out of place kind of gal, but socially awkward, and but then she's navigating how to interact with people and how to trust people, were the main things in this book. So, and then also she is not afraid to stick up for people either, the gangs and stuff that are in the area. She sticks up and holds her own. So she's not going to be bullied.
Is she your favorite character, or is there another character that's actually your favorite character?
So Viv is probably my favorite character, but I also love Cal. He's a hob, and he is a carpenter who is like sort of think like Hoggle from the Labyrinth, like, which that's how I pictured Cal. But he's very, very gruff, very keeps to himself, but then sort of like worms her way into his heart kind of thing, and he has a soft spot for her. And even though he's like gruff and standoffish, he keeps coming back and helps her build her coffee shop, and ends up becoming like her partner, along with the succubus as well, and she hires her as like to be a barista, and that's Tandri, and she has like a troubled backstory because a lot of people treat her rough and stuff growing up, and so she's very guarded, and her and Viv end up having like a relationship bloom over time with it, so that's cool to watch as well. But they're both very guarded people, so seeing them sort of open up and like share their experiences and learn to trust each other is cool.
So is this an eclectic town of creatures?
Yeah, because you have yeah, it is an eclectic. Yeah,
Okay.
Your man like fantasy creatures and stuff. Think of like D&D, different people coming in.
And
Yeah,
what did,
but you have a lot of other species and stuff too.
so tell me more about the writing style.
So the writing style it's like not, so I would say laid back is what came to mind, but also can you give me like a different example on that one? So
Did it read like stereo instructions, or did it have good flow and energy?
It has good flow and energy.
Okay, I think those would be the ways that I would ask that question. Rachel, pop in if you had a different way to ask that question as far as writing style.
Yeah, it flowed well.
Flow and energy is really where I think I land on that. Were there any characters that you did not like or that frustrated you?
I didn't like the bad guy. The main bad guy of the gang was Madrigal, and he was like, not a nice word that just came to mind. He was a bully. That's a nicer word.
Wow.
But yeah, pretty much Viv has to. So she has like this awesome, think of World of Warcraft blades where they're like gigantic and really cool. She has like this epic blade and that she used to use when she was out questing and stuff. But since she put that life behind her, she has it on the mantelpiece in her coffee shop. And she doesn't want to use it, but it's like, it's there as like an intimidation too, but also like, for memories and stuff. But it's like, it's for this guy who keeps coming around and trying to bully her. It's there as a reminder of like, okay, do I need to get my blade down? Like, because she can be badass and handle herself. So yeah.
So this has a lot of friendship and conflict, but is there any romance in here?
There is. The main relationship is with Tandri and Viv. So the coffee shop owner and the barista that she had hired.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a powerful or memorable scene that you enjoy or that stands out?
Mainly the one that comes to mind is when it's like, I don't want to be like cliche, like tender moment, but it really is, in the sense that like Viv, she sleeps up in the attic above her coffee shop, and she's a big gal, she's an orc, so like the standard beds and stuff don't really fit her frame, so she sleeps on the floor. And she's just like very guarded and keeps to herself. Whereas opening up, there's a scene where she opens up to Tandri, and they have like a really good discussion about their pasts and stuff. And it's like in that moment you really learn more about like where they're coming from, both of like their trust issues and having to work past that. It's just really touching kind of thing. Like that one stood out.
Wow. It sounds like it would. Did this book make you think differently about anything in life?
Yeah, mainly just like, the power of friendship, and also being your own woman, be badass. Don't let people walk over you. And, it was like, it's not woke, but it's like, it's definitely that good, hear me roar, I'm a woman and I'm not going to take crap from these bullies kind of thing. So I love that. I like stories like that. But I like them to be in a way that's not like woke either. So yeah, so it's like, be a powerful badass, you know. But
It's
don't
got
be
a
like
message,
whiny.
but it's
But
not
don't
an
be whiny about it. Yeah.
it's
Fear
not
of
an in your
missing
face,
out.
hit you
Yeah,
over
it's
the
not
head
in your
message.
face over, you know. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's like she's overcoming her own challenges and stuff while learning to trust others and like step out of her comfort
I'll
zone
email it.
and also like learn to rely on friends more than just being by herself and only trusting in herself.
Which I think is beautiful.
Go
Ahead.
sorry.
No, you go, because
I was gonna
you
say,
know
just-
what? Andrew's having some FOMO and now I have to send him the link. So
Oh,
you
okay.
take over.
No, I was just gonna say I find it, and I read a lot kind of similar books like that, and I find that's kind of like a theme in a lot of those books, that kind of found family, found friendship, found place, and a woman finding who she is. I don't know if I'm the only one who, I love it, even though I read a lot and it's a similar theme. I love those themes.
I do too. And it's like that is very much what you were just saying. She has to find herself. Like she's learning how to find who she wants to be and who she is, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I get in a rut and I read those type of books all the time, but I it's like, oh, she found her family.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing too I think I really liked about it is like both Viv and Tandri had like really hard upbringings and like family issues and trauma in their past, but they have overcome it. And in spite of that, they're still learning to grow as, you know, as themselves and trusting each other too and lean on their friends. So I like that message.
It's a great message, actually. And I know Rachel loves a power woman. 100%. Do you wish anything was done differently?
Not really for that book. I went in thinking that this, like, I really did go in thinking I was not going to like that book, but I was wanting to like that book, and then I ended up loving it. So it's still one of my favorites. Now that you told me it's a series, I'm just like, yes! I'm glad to go back to that realm. So.
Well, that would be my next question would have been, you know, would you read more from this author, or have you read more from this author? But you are about to read more from this author.
I have not, but I'm going to definitely read the next in this one.
Did you feel like there are plot holes, something missing?
No, it really reads as it starts out like her coming right off a quest. So if you ever play like D&D, think of it in those terms. Okay, she's coming back from a quest, and this is what happens after. This is what's going on when there's not the action of a quest, you know. So think of it in those terms, and it was pretty spot on.
Now, you've seen the cover of the 2 releases.
Mm-hmm.
Which cover art did you enjoy more, and why?
For the first and the second book?
Well, from not the first and the second book, from the version, the soft cover audiobook has the same cover versus the sprayed edges cover that you have.
I will say if I had seen this hardback cover, I would have had no issues with it at all of thinking like, oh, like this is going to be, I wouldn't have had that issue. I wouldn't have judged it as much if I had seen this cover, because this is awesome. It's like a sword in a coffee cup, which that is actually Viv's sword. So.
And
yeah.
Describe to us what the other cover looked like.
So the other cover was Viv and Tandri just back to back in front of like as baristas in a coffee shop, which doesn't really give you much about the story. Like when I see this, a sword and a coffee cup, and I read Legends of like I have a completely different image in my mind of what I saw with the barista one, and the orc and the succubus and the other one. I'm just like, like what? Okay, a coffee shop fantasy, like that completely blew my mind of like what. Whereas this, I don't know, I just think more of like I think of Excalibur and you know that along those lines.
It's interesting you say that, because I saw the other cover first, and I hemmed and hawed about picking up the book, and then when I saw that one, I was like, okay. And then that's when I said, all right, I'm going to grab the book, and it was based on the sprayed edges release version, 100%.
And I will say, seeing the second hardback cover, this
So go ahead and share what the next book is going to be.
Looks totally awesome too. This totally looks like something I dreamed.
I love it. I love it. So what do you give this book as a rating?
I would rate it a 5.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow. Why are you giving it a 5?
So this I read when I was on a plane, and I'm just like, I didn't think it was going to be good, and I got bought in almost immediately. Like first couple chapters, and my plane trip went really quick. So, and I once I got into Colorado Airport, I was sad I had to put it down, but then I got to finish it on the trip back. So, yeah. So,
would you recommend this book?
I would. Yeah.
And who's going to enjoy it the most?
Anyone who loves fantasy. I would say anyone who's been a barista and had to deal with people in that kind of a setting would love it.
And would you think this is a good one to adapt to a movie or a television series?
I could see it being a TV series.
Okay, and then who are you going to cast as our badass barista?
I have no idea on that. I really don't.
Can I say I'm envisioning in my head Melissa McCarthy?
Yeah, that would be good actually for good.
Wow.
I don't know the way you were describing.
Oh, and I don't know her name. Oh man, what's her name? Aubrey something. Plaza. She's been in some horror films and stuff, but I'm picturing her as Tangerine. She would make an awesome Tangerine.
See, now we're casting the show, guys. This is exactly how it should be.
HBO, reach out now.
See, this is where good ideas start, as long as the people are listening or watching. Now, if your book could whisper a secret to its author, what's the secret?
I would sprinkle more magical mystery in. So there's expand on that. There are certain things in the book where they have a mini board going throughout the book, and then they also have secret sayings that had to do with the not prophecy, but had to do with the stone, the magical stone that's underneath. So more of that, because I love that kind of stuff, and I love the menus too of how they're sprinkling in. It was kind of the idea to come up with the menu, and they have so for example, I have written down finer taste for the working and lady, and then they have their menu that they keep updating weekly and stuff like that. Just sprinkle more magic in with that, and then it's some magical mystery, more of those cryptic sayings and stuff where the it's not a prophecy, but essentially that kind of stuff.
Okay, so interesting, because you just referred to your phone. So for people who are watching and joining, they might not know that Danny dabbles in book journaling, and she just does it on her phone. And her goal had been once a month, but I think we're getting her into the physical book journaling now. And I know she's going to ask Rachel later to show some of your books. So do a little show and tell maybe at the end.
Just start today. I sat down and started sticky noting out my 2026 journal.
So I love to organize, and I would love to see some aspects of how you're organizing this stuff. Because on my phone, I had it with the year, and then if it's books, graphic novels, fan fiction, stuff like that.
Yeah, we can chat.
Cool.
I'm literally, it's right here, and I'm running out of room.
That's your current journal.
This is this year's. Yeah, it's my baby.
Which is awesome. So I am going to ask you a weird ass question. If a character from this book would be the least helpful in an escape room, which one would it be? And what's happening that they hinder the group?
I would say probably Cal, just because he's so gruff and he's not going to want to deal with it. He's going to go sit in a corner and just be like, you ladies handle it. Kind of thing, as that's not his thing. He's not going to, he's the gruff person of the grumpy person of the group. So,
which I love.
A lovable grumpy person.
So tell everybody what you're currently reading.
So I am currently still reading that one I mentioned last book club, which was the myths and mirth and magic or something like that. It is rough. I've been trying to get through it, but it's very brash and loud, crude, vulgar. Those are the words that come to mind with this. And I'm only halfway through it, so very stereotypical. So I plan on trying to get through that for the next book club.
So this is why she needs the book journal, so she can put it in the graveyard and DNF it or space it out the airlock.
As of right now, it's only a 2, and that's just the 2 is just because it's in the fantasy realm. That's the only thing that really has going for it.
Oh, well, thank you, Danny. We're going to pass it back to Rachel and Amber. We're so excited. So, Amber, when you come on, you got to tell everybody like who you are and a little bit more about you, because we need to learn about you. Take it away.
Definitely unmute yourself. So hey, Amber. So tell us a little bit about like what are your favorite things to read? What have you read in the past that you really love?
Okay. Well, I'm Amber. Everybody on here knows me pretty much. So I'm a big reader. I read most things I'll pick up a book in a bookstore and read the back of it or the cover of it, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like something I would read. So I have all different types of things on my bookshelf, but I definitely love like A Court of Thorns and Roses, and then I'm a huge fan. I read all of them. I was kind of like, oh my god, like why
Throne of Glass?
Like, and I know, and I love that they tied the Last Crescent City book into the other ones, but I was kind of hoping it would continue because I was like, oh my god, I want more. Like, I want more. So I'm really liking that. I do like one of my favorite books is Memoirs of a Geisha. That was actually one of my favorite books from a while ago. So
you're on my bookshelf.
I actually like I said, I like all different types of books, but I'm definitely I read that one, like that one series, and I'm kind of having a little issue starting with Throne of Glass series. Like I have it, but I'm kind of having issue starting it.
Give it like I would say, like, I read, because there's like 8 or 9 of them. Make sure we'll talk. Make sure you do the tandem read. When you get there, you'll know what I'm talking about. But give it like a book and a half. Like, I just read it because I loved Sarah J. Maas.
Yep.
By the time I got halfway through the second book, like, you could look at my reading journal. It says, I think I'm going to take a break after this one. And then it was like, nope, no, I'm not. Nope, I'm gone. And it just took, like, I couldn't put him down. So. Okay.
Yeah, I have one shelf that's all her. Like, I have the complete City and then Throne of Glass and then, Court of Thorns and Roses. I have all of her books as of right now. I also got really into Fourth Wing.
Mm-hmm.
I really like, because I like the dragons and everything. So those were really good books. But I am reading a different series now that kind of still fits very much into that. So let me get a picture of it. So right now I am reading, let's see, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it because it's on my phone.
No, is it the guild one?
It's a plated. Yep, the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. There's 6 books in the series. I am on the 5th book right now, so I am actually really enjoying them.
But would you say that you kind of gravitate more towards series than maybe standalone books?
Yeah, and I do read standalone books, but I think for me, I love series because when I know like I'm reading something and I'm like, and it just ends. I hate that because I've had books that are standalone series and I'm like, hey, this should be a series, or one book, and I'm like, this should be a series. Like, what happened? Like, it just stopped. So I like being able to have another book after, especially if I really am enjoying the series. or like that first book, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't have to put it down, like there's another one. So I really like that a lot. So
awesome. Yeah. Okay, well then let's talk about whatever book you brought to talk about today. So tell us title and author.
Okay, so like I said, I am reading the Plated Prisoner series. I am on the 5th book. It's by Raven Kennedy. The 5th one's called Gold. So the first couple, there's Gild, Glitch, Gleam, Glow, and Gold, and the last one is Goldfinch. So I'm kind of in about 50% done with Gold. I read the first couple in like a couple days. But since we've been moving and stuff, I kind of, it was really good. So I'll probably talk about a little bit about the whole series since I've read the first 4, and I'm kind of like the in-between where I'm like, it's going into other things right now that it makes sense with the other books, but I'm really loving it so far.
So then let's talk about the series as a whole so far. Why'd you pick it up?
I originally read Gild before, and it wasn't a series yet, so it was like she was writing them, but I read it on Kindle. It was a book that just, I don't know, caught my eye. Like I had read I forgot what book I read before that. I'm like, and it came up as, oh, you may like this one as well. So I started reading it and I really liked it, and that was one where I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to read it. I want to continue reading this. And then now she has 6. She completed the series, and there's 6 of them. So that's why I kind of originally started reading him.
What about the series? Because clearly you're hooked. It sounds like it hooked you right away.
It was a little slow at first, but it definitely picked up like pretty fast, like within the next, like the first 3 chapters. It definitely picked up and like kind of grabbed you, especially with the main character as well.
What kind of like with Danny's book, you've got like everybody has like their own, same with Sarah J. Maas, like their own magical world series.
Yep.
So give us the magic overview in this fantasy world.
Okay. So there are 2 worlds in this. So in a sense, you get more of the 2 worlds in the 5th book, but at a time there was a bridge that separated these 2 worlds, the Fae world and then like the human world. So the Fae had came over and they had babies with humans and things like that. So and at some point the bridge like disappeared, broke. It was destroyed. So there were people in the human world that were still, some of them had magic, some of them did not. And there were also some that were still full Fae that were stuck over in this world. So there are also 7 kingdoms, and most of every king or queen in these kingdoms has some type of magic, but they're not full Fae.
Okay.
So it kind of, it melded them together. So that was right when the first 4 books kind of you're stuck in like the 7 kingdoms in the human world, because there's no way back to the other world.
So do you have a favorite character that's kind of a standout character in the entire series?
I have 2. So the main character, Ren, she is the main focus. She's actually she was the plated prisoner, so she's actually gold. Like she's Fae. Her she's gold. It's not painted, like that's how she is. And she drips gold, and she can gild things in gold. So she's one of my favorites. And then the other one is, he has 3 different names, but his name's Slade, because he can actually transform into, he's a king, from Fourth Kingdom. So he is King Ravager or King Rot because of his one power. And then he also is known as Captain Rip or Commander Rip because he's also can transform into a different person. So he's known as 3 different people, but he's known because him and our Ren fall in love. I mean, there's everything. There's fantasy, there's war and death and stuff, and there's also love. So it's all a little bit of everything. But yeah, I have 2. Those are my 2 favorite characters. But they did very good. She did very good with her characters in this book, though, because there's also other ones that you really, you're like, those are really good characters.
So are there any characters that are overly frustrating to you?
Oh, yeah. Like most of the king and queens in the other kingdoms. Like, you don't like them. Like, the one that keeps our Ren as a prisoner, and he's the king of the 7th kingdom. His name is Midas. And he's very narcissistic. He's very abusive. She doesn't see it because she at first she loves him. But he's just a terrible, she writes him so well, you just don't like him. And then you meet other ones throughout, and you realize they're not good. They're not really good people. Just like the rulers of these kingdoms. So you're just they're not the best people. So
what's the
Slade? You realize the 4th kingdom is probably the best one.
What's the point of view that the story is told from? Does it alternate point of views? Is it just an outside, a third person narrator?
No, so it actually does. The changes, each chapter, it has a name, and that's the point of view. So we'll have the 2, Slade and our Ren, and then sometimes they'll have some of the other characters, and they'll have their point of view, and it'll be told from their side of things. So it's a little bit of every character that it tells something.
Is there, out of the sounds like 3.5 books you've read so far, 4.5 books you've read so far?
I've read 4, yeah, 4.5.
What would be the most powerful thing that is, or scene that stood out over so far in the series that you've read?
So, well, you two were, you and Danny were talking about earlier, about the empowerment of women type thing. So our Ren doesn't really know her power. She kind of grew up she was kidnapped from her world and brought here, or to the human world. But there's a scene that her power just takes over. And it's the trigger. It's the trigger that shows that she's never going to be taken advantage of and stuff again. So, and she learns to control her powers after that. So kind of the books kind of go into that too. But that was the scene that definitely was one of my favorite scenes because it just triggered a lot of events after that.
Is there anything so far in the series that you'd change?
No, I can't say that quite yet because since I'm not finished with it yet, because there are right now, I'm there's obviously stuff going on that I'm please let this happen. So I'm hoping it does within the next, 50% of the 5th book or the 6th book. Cause I'm this is going to be really, that might change my perspective a little bit if it doesn't happen, I think. So, but as of right now, no, I think it's doing really good at going into it's just really well written.
Have you read anything besides this series? Have you read anything else by this author?
I have not. This is the first time I've read anything by her, so.
And you just stumbled upon it. It was a recommendation on your Kindle.
Yeah, it was just one that popped up. I like I said, I don't remember what book I was reading on Kindle, and it popped up. You mean this one? So, and that was a little while ago. That was when it first started coming out, and then now all of them are complete. So, but yeah, it was just one I was oh, that sounds like something I would read. So,
Okay. So it sounds like you would, so far out of the 4.5 books that you've read, which one has been your favorite, and what would you rate it?
The one that's been my favorite, I think, would be Glow, which is the 4th book. So that was probably my favorite. I would rate it probably 4.5 stars. And I just say that because it did end at like a cliffhanger. So obviously luckily there was another book after that, but it was a very intense book in that one, and there was a lot that happened.
Casey knows this about me. I'm super stingy with my 5 stars. Like I don't give out 5 stars every day. How are you in that? Like, I don't want to say willy-nilly, but how are you with 5 stars?
I mean, I've read books that I'm like, ugh. Like I had trouble getting through them and things like that I was just like, you don't, like, no, 1 star. like I've read books that are like that. Like, but when it comes to, like, I would definitely, for my opinion, like A Court of Thorns and Roses and stuff like that series, I would probably give that a 5 because I was hooked. Like, it was slow at first, but as soon as it got going, I wanted more.
Yep.
So that one, like, I would definitely, though, that would be a 5 star for me. But it just has to keep me going, and these books so far are keeping me going. So
yeah, anytime you want to instantly grab the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th one instead of going to another series or another book. So let me ask you, I'm not going to ask you a weird ass question because that's, it's your first time, but I'm going to ask you an unhinged question.
Okay.
So out of all the series, which character would be the worst to be stuck in an elevator with, and why?
Oh my God. I would say there's 2. So there's King Midas, and then his wife, Queen Melania. They are very full of themselves. Not the nicest people. Like because they would just talk about themselves, and it would be, and they think that they deserve to be like, oh, I'm the queen, I'm the king, like you're supposed to be my subject or whatever. Like they're for themselves. Like they feel like because they're royal, they deserve everything at their feet type thing. And I'm not a fan of those type of people.
That sounds like it would suck to be stuck in an elevator with those people. Yeah.
Oh yes, it would be. And plus Midas is also like, he's more, the queen is she's very similar to him in some sense, but he's more like he's very gaslighting and things like that too. Ooh. So yeah. He's terrible. He's a terror. She writes him so well as such a terrible person.
So to finish up then, after my unhinged question, who would you recommend this book to and why?
Anybody that likes I would say it's definitely like a romantic fantasy book, but anybody that likes that type of thing, or also because there is, to be honest, there is killing in this book too. Like, that's not just, there's a little bit of everything, but anybody that likes the Fae, like things like Fae and those things, I would definitely recommend, because I enjoyed it.
All right. Casey, any follow-up questions on there?
Oh, you covered the book great.
Did I hazer good?
You did a good job.
I didn't want to give too much away because there's a lot of stuff in there, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to say it because it's such a big scene. Like,
and it was a perfect matchup for this interview with Rachel talking to you about it, because this is absolutely in her wheelhouse. Oh, interesting. We have a question. We do have a follow-up question. If this is from Jerry, his follow-up question is, if you had to cosplay as a character from the book, this is a great question, who would it be? And since Rachel, you've read this also, right?
No, I haven't read this.
Oh, you
No.
haven't read this one. Okay, it's just in your wheelhouse.
I've seen it.
Got it.
I've seen the series. Yeah.
Amber, who you cosplaying in this book?
I would do the main character. Well, I would actually, if
Is
I
this
really
in,
was, I would. What?
in the spirit of Halloween? This is what Jerry says.
Okay, yeah, I would do Arwen. She's the prisoner. Or I would do Slade, because both their characters have very, very, like, their powers are very. I mean, she's gold, like she looks gold, so that would be a great. And then she has ribbons on her back that are part of who she is as a fae. That would be, I feel like, would make a great costume. And then Slade, who plays King Rot, he's very distinguished in his character too, with spikes and stuff like that he can appear and disappear. So I feel like they would make really good cosplay characters. I mean, and painting myself gold, I mean, that sounds like it's pretty cheap to do.
That's dedication, though.
It would be, right?
P3PO level stuff right there.
Right?
I love it. So it looks like Andrew joined in also, and Andrew sends in a question and just answered. Actually, he answers the question. Captain Kirk. I guess it doesn't matter what book we're reading. Andrew's going to be Captain Kirk. And
Dan asked a question that can any of the Fae transform into animals in this series?
Ooh, good question.
So I haven't stumbled across that yet. I'll tell you a few that I have. One, so they call them the Wrath. They're part of King Rot's, like, his friends that he literally, like, they're tight knit. He tells them everything. She's like has bird-like qualities in the sense, like, she can distract people. So if someone's looking at her, she can have a distraction and they just they don't look at her, so she can sneak around she's like a ninja. And then there's there's an assassin in the book that he plays with shadows. He needs shadows he can use those to appear and disappear. I haven't stumbled across any animals. There's one that she can tell, she can get secrets. Her whole thing is that she can get things out of people. She can hear secrets and stuff, and whether they're lying or not. But this fifth book I just stumbled on, we're in now the Fae world, so more things may appear, so there could possibly be people that transform into animals. But as of right now, I have not seen that or read that.
Brilliant.
And do you book journal, or do you know about book journaling, Amber?
I do not book journal. No, I do not.
Okay. Well, we'll get you on that crazy train, just as we've gotten Danny on it, and maybe Jerry, maybe. Well, I'm glad that you're able to join us. This sounds like a series going on. I'm going to check out audio first.
Okay.
That I'm going to look into. Oh, Danny has another question. You've read this series about the Fae Court. Does this series, you've also read stories about the Fae Court. Got it. Does this series get into the politics of the Fae realm?
It does. Since it definitely focuses a lot on the different kingdoms. It definitely, at one point there's something called a conflex, which is like a trial at some point. So it definitely goes into, it talks about the politics and how one comes up and becomes king or queen, and things like that. So there's definitely talks about how that works in this series, because a lot of them, even though they're not full Fae, they still have powers in this way. But we also are, when I'm in this fifth book, they are actually talking about the person who rules that world as well. So I'm finding out a little bit about that, and there's a rebellion. There's also a rebellion that goes on. So it's talking about that too now. So we're getting slowly into the actual Fae politics. But in the human world, there's, yeah, definitely.
Has layers. This has layers.
It does. Oh yeah, there's definitely layers. Yes, this series,
which I love. Well, thank you for sharing so much. Cool, thanks. This is the second recommendation for the series that she has heard now. It's my first, but now hearing from you and Rachel and Danny, obviously I'm going to have to look into it. So I'm glad that you're able to join us. Maybe your husband will be able to join us next time, although he does have to read a book. Andrew's joined us, but has no book to read.
Well, does Jerry have another book besides?
He does. But I'm going to interview you in your book, Rachel, and then you can get back to Jerry.
Okay.
Is that cool?
That's totally great.
Are you good with that, Jerry? Yes. And then Amber, for future reference, now Andrew did read My Little Golden Book last time, and it was about Keanu Reeves. So if your husband also needs to read, I suggest going to My Little Golden Book. Go to that game store we recommended in Oahu. And they have all the cool, like, children's books for adults, I guess. I don't know. Just go there. Tell them to pick a book. So, Rachel, what did you bring to book club today?
I brought... Sorry, I'm going to break the fantasy thing.
Trend?
Yeah.
In fairness, we didn't start off in fantasy. We started out in horror.
It started off in bad. I read, this is probably backwards, so sorry. It's because it's on my iPad. Lisa Jewell, Don't Let Him In.
Actually, it made it auto forward.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But it's blurry, and now it's not. And then there it is. Lisa Jewell, Don't Let Him In. It sounds ominous. What is the genre? And it's on your Kindle?
Yeah, I was on my Kindle. It's a thriller.
Why? Why'd you pick this thriller? Andrew, hold your questions to the end. We'll ask that question, but wait till the end.
I've read a couple other of her books. The one I really liked was I forget the name of it now. It was about the truth. But she's a British author. All of her stories, all of her novels are based in England. And so I was on a wait list for 2 months at the library for this one.
Oh, this is a library book?
The library book, but it's only been out for about maybe 3 months, but I was on the wait list at the library for it.
So friends, never underestimate the power of the library. If you don't have your library card, get it, because your library will give you Kindles, audios, and physical books. And obviously you have to wait for books. So that's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah.
So why'd you pick this one? Because you liked the previous one?
I liked the previous one. I wanted a good thriller, and I felt like with this author, I was safe that I would get a good one, that it wouldn't be a questionable thriller. So that's why I decided to go with this one.
All right. So now I'm going to ask, what was your rating? Because now I want to know, was it questionable or wasn't it?
It was a 5-star.
What? Whoa, shock. Everybody, we just heard her say she does not give out her 5 stars willy-nilly. So now you're going to have to tell us a little bit of background on this book, the main idea, and why we got 5 stars.
Okay, without trying to give too much away, so some spoiler alerts here. It is told from the point of view of 3 people. It centers around a bigamist. So a serial bigamist. He travels, he just going all over the place, taking advantage of women for a couple years and then moving on. Things like that. So it's told from the point of view of his current wife, himself, and the child of his current prey. I don't know how else to say it. Ooh. So it really focuses a lot on him, on how he does it, on how he gets away with it with so many women and for so many years. And you're just, I don't know. Every time I thought they're going to catch him, he's stuck. He's backed himself to in a corner. He's stuck. He either he either latches onto another woman, or he lies his way out of something and they believe him, and it's just wild.
Amber says it sounds like a book she would read. And I do know Amber enough to know, because she's worked in law enforcement for a long time. Now, my question is, are people dying in this book?
Yes.
You don't want to give away all the details, because he's not just killing them. There's other things happening.
There's never an intention of murder, but people do die.
Okay.
Say that. I was actually really surprised. I think that's one of the things. Like, oh, how did that happen? Like when a murder happened, I was
surprised that it did happen.
Yeah.
But they're intentionally unintentional.
It was. Yes, that's a good way to describe it. It was intentionally unintentional.
Wow. So that just brings me to like the writing style. Like, this sounds very specific and well thought out.
It's very, very fast paced, very thought out. There's not, you would think because there's a lot of, there's present day, and then there's in the past. You go back to learn more about this guy's history, and go through a couple of his other wives and women that he partners. But there's not so many, like sometimes like there's so many characters you lose track of who was who and who was married first and when was how. There's not like a ton of characters, so you can really focus on the story. And it's really, really fast paced. I read this one quickly.
And for Rachel, that's how fast?
This was 2 days.
So it had to really capture your attention to go at that speed.
I stayed up way too late to finish it because I really wanted to know how it ended. So,
wow.
You knew, like, you had it, like, you knew probably that what the end was like. You knew he was like, there had to be an end game. Like, this wasn't going to end with him, tripping off into, happily ever after. You knew what the end game was. Like, it has to be in a book like this. But how we got there and when we got there, that's what I was like, I gotta get there. So.
Wow. Yeah. So was this one better than the first one?
Yeah.
It sounds like it. So
yeah,
now.
I mean, it's not a series or anything, but I liked this one better. I like the story better.
So did you have a favorite character in this one?
Yeah, the daughter, Ash. She just, overcoming her own issues, to try to help her mom, to try to show her mom, hey, this guy's no good. You can't trust this guy. And just how you felt her frustration, but she kept going. Like, every time she got shut down with, well, Mom, isn't this a little strange? She just kept digging. And you felt kind of that frustration.
How old is the daughter?
She's 26.
Oh, so she's not like a young daughter that.
Oh, no. Yeah, and then there's a brother who's 22.
Did he have a massive role in this? The brother?
No, he was really an in and outer. He showed up for Christmas and got like, that's the thing, like, that made kind of this, how does this con man keep winning people over? Like, everywhere he goes, people fall for whatever he's selling, and it's the only thing I ever really couldn't figure out is what he actually did with all the money that he accumulated over the years from these women. Where did it all go?
And you never get to learn that.
You never get a specific, like, he bought a Tesla at one point, but he put it on a woman's credit card, so he didn't really pay for it. So he was like constantly scrounging for money, and you couldn't quite figure out where it was all going to.
So is this something that frustrated you in the storyline at all? You could care less?
No, I thought about it as he's like constantly digging for money. You're like, well, where's all this money going? Like, where is he? But I get, that's why he kept. Yeah.
So who's your least favorite character? This guy?
This guy, yeah, he's got like 12 names in the book.
I was just going to ask him what is his name, but there's 12. So
there's 12.
Everybody put in the chat what you think his name is.
For the biggest part of the book, his name is Nick. But he literally had and that's part of the problem. He has so many different names that it's so hard to track him down, and he has all these stories about why he has so many different names. So,
all right. Guess one of his names, guys. I'm going to put my guess in the chat. I think that might be one of his names.
There isn't.
Oh my gosh. These people.
No, there's, none of those.
Joe Schmo. Perfect. Was Joe at all? Sam?
No, Joe is not one of
Carl,
them.
Double bacon cheese.
There is an Andre. He was Andre at one point. He was Alistair.
So Nick was his only normal name is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a British book, so there's
guys, British names, go. Okay. Shittles.
Well, so Simon Smith is his actual birth name.
Okay. I got Simon
Says. You don't get that until the end, the very end.
Because Simon says, give me your money. Simon says, you will love me. And all of the things that Simon says. At least that would be my take on it.
It was just a great thriller. A fast read.
Bravo Duke of Lamb Sauce. Good one.
Yeah, no. He thought he was a duke, but no. No, he had a superiority, inferiority.
So this is a 5-star book out of you. There has to be a powerful, memorable scene or moment that just pushed it over your, I'm never giving out a 5-star, but here you go.
Probably what did it for me is when Ash finally has that moment with her mom of you look, you can't deny all of these things, and her mom and the current wife actually get together and have it. Martha's the current wife, and they get together, and it's just this moment of whoa, okay, now we got him.
So because you book journal, I know you have quotes. What's your favorite quote? I know, gotta open it. Or just give us some really good quotes that we have.
It's why, this is from Simon, Nick, Alistair. It's why I work so hard to maintain my charisma exterior, because my interior is a chaotic hellscape beyond anyone's possible imaginings.
Everybody do that with a British accent.
Oh. Yeah.
I love it. That's deep, actually. Do you get deep into his psychological profile?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you definitely get into
why he's the way he is. Ooh, sometimes you don't get that in these books.
Yeah, no, you definitely get it. And it definitely, you get, because a third of the book is told from his point of view.
That's amazing.
So you really get his thoughts about why he's doing what he's, and at no point, even though you're seeing it all from his point of view, and he's trying so hard, I feel like he's trying so hard to get the reader on his side. I think that was, I'm never on your side, dude. I'm not ever gonna, no, you're a horrible person. I'm not gonna but you really hear well, why not? He tried so hard. He tries so hard to get the reader on his side, and
Which is interesting, and that says something to the author, because this character, that's his whole thing. He's a con man, right? So he's even, the author's writing this character to con you into loving him as opposed to, you know.
And I would say that's something that she does well, because this is the third book that I've read by her where part of the story is told from the antagonist, the bad guy, the bad woman, whatever you want to, and she does a really good job of writing from the point of view of the evil one and getting you to like get inside their head, but at the same time, like I can't believe, like I can't side with you. You're trying so hard to get me to side with you, but I'm not going to. So
now you've read already a few of these of her books. Is the antagonist always a male?
no.
Or she does make it all over the place? Oh
Yeah.
Fascinating. I love that. I think that since she writes that way intensely about her antagonist, that there's something going on with the author.
She definitely can write. I'm going to sound glib, and I don't mean to. She can definitely write some mental illness. Like I mean that with love. I mean, she can get inside a mentally ill brain and write the heck out of it.
That's a talent. It really is. Write what you know, and if you can really get into it and be method about it, then I think that makes it even better, obviously, because it gave it the 5 stars. Would you do anything different or rewrite anything in it?
I wish, and there's no way you wouldn't have a story without this. I wish that Ash's father hadn't had to die.
Aw.
I'm not giving anything away. That's like the first 2 pages of the book.
Oh,
so
that's
I'm
the
not
hook.
giving anything away. That's, yeah, like literally you learn that in the very first 2-page chapter. So I wish that didn't have to happen.
So where did the other books fall short that this one you got the 5 stars out of it?
There was a very clear ending here. In none of this is true. Even at the end, you're still kind of like questioning some things. I wasn't questioning anything here. I need a conclusion. I need an ending. I need okay, I've got an answer. I can walk away from this. In none of, which I love, none of this is true. It probably would have been a 4.5 star. It was a 4 star, but thinking back, probably 4.5. I would have, that's the one thing I was missing with that, was like a clear ending.
And I remember us talking and reviewing that book together.
Yeah.
And that book intrigued me also. It's on my, someday I'm going to maybe read this book. This one is also on that. How did you come across this author? Did you start arcing?
No, was recommended through Kindle. Because I read so much Frida McFadden, it popped up as Frida McFadden adjacent. I actually think she's a better. I love Frida McFadden, but I think she's a better writer than Frida McFadden. And so then every time a new book comes out, it pops up on my Goodreads, and I saw that it was available at the library, so I went on the wait list for it.
Which I love that. Again, guys, go to your library. You can save money on books by going to your library. You're going to recommend this book. Why and to who?
Anybody who likes thrillers. Anyone who likes a good chase book, like a good, I'm going to catch this guy somehow. Anybody who likes one of those. Anybody who kind of feels, I don't want to say taken advantage of, but like not seen. Like, because here comes this guy who, he definitely is very selective with his targets, people who are in vulnerable situations. So I think anybody who's been through that, who like finds the courage to get through it, would enjoy this book. But honestly, if you like any sort of thriller, this is a really, really good thriller.
And do you think this one would be a great movie adaptation?
I think this one would be a very good BBC one-off series.
Okay, so British actors. I'm sure everybody knows all the British actors in the world. For our demented dude, Simon, and all these other words, who are we casting?
Current day Hugh Grant.
Current day Hugh Grant.
Yeah, so Simon is 50, 55, 56.
Oh, so this is an older gentleman.
He's not young. I think this describes him as having gray hair but still in good shape. So I'm thinking like a very irritable Hugh Grant.
Okay, I can see that, even though I haven't read the book, but I feel the vibe. Are you going to read more from this author?
Always. Yeah.
Because you love her so much now. I mean, you just said that.
It's anytime I can get through a book in 2.5 days. And I'm not, Danny was talking about how, it's been 3 weeks and we're still plugging through 50% of the book. Like anytime you can just fly through a book, it's like, yeah, that was a good read.
If your book could whisper a secret to your author, what would it be?
Keep writing those awkward family dynamics.
And if your page, the final page, could speak wisdom, what would it impart as you close the book on the final page to you, the reader?
Be careful who you trust.
Ooh, guys.
Do your due diligence.
Interesting.
And this is a straight thriller. There's no romance. This is just a solid thriller.
Okay, so it's a solid thriller. We are going to go off the rails with a question and ask, I lost the question.
Oh,
guys, I had it already prepared and I'm like, I want to read it word for word. And now I'm just thinking, where the heck did my question go? It's here. All right, hold on. I had 2 questions. Oh, there it is. If this book had a theme park ride, what would it be like?
It would be, well, I don't want to say a theme park ride. It would be an escape room.
Oh, okay. It would be an escape room because you had to
find your way out.
Is that how you felt in this book when you were reading it?
I mean, the front cover that I put away now is, it's a door after door after door. Like he keeps walking through doors and these women keep letting him in. So it's like, how do we get out?
Interesting. So it's just a room of doors.
Yeah.
And then more doors into another room, more doors to another room. And I don't know, Andrew wants to know, was there sexual content?
No.
Guys, so there it is. No romance, no sex. It's just deep, dark thriller stuff. Any more questions for Rachel that I may have missed or that you're curious about? Open to all of you. And everybody went silent.
That's all right.
It's okay. So what is it that you're reading right now?
I am, and I'll finish this today. I am reading, The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. It's a follow-up to The Spell Shop. It's not a sequel, but they exist in the same world. So I'll finish that probably tonight because I only have another 50 pages. So.
Yay, bravo. And we can see it. Looks great.
It's a beautiful cover, sprayed edges. It's all of her books look like this. I know, Casey, you have the spell shop right now.
And that is my current read, but I don't have it here to show you. So Rachel is going to now talk to Jerry because that first book was a chapbook. We're still trying to define everybody. This chapbook thing has been this new trend. It even says in that little Scampering, it's a chapbook. Short story, I think, is more appropriate. But Jerry actually read a real book.
All right,
So take it away.
All right, so Jerry, give us the title and author. What did you read? Vampire Hunter. Oh, I have heard about this one from our good friend Casey. Vampire Hunter D. Who's the author?
You have to unmute yourself, Jerry, and then start all over again. Put your book up.
Yeah, that would help, wouldn't it?
It's all good.
Vampire Hunter D. I don't remember. So it was written by Hideyuki Kikuchi and narrated and translated. Illustrations by Yoshitaka Amano.
Was this a physical book for you or Kindle?
It was a Kindle book, but I also got the ebook, and I was kind of doing them tandemly, back and forth.
What's the difference between those two kinds of books? Sorry, Rachel, I know you're supposed to be conducting.
No, you're more book than I am.
I don't even know. What's the difference between a Kindle and an ebook?
A Kindle is an ebook.
But you said you're switching between a Kindle and an ebook.
Oh, Audible. Sorry.
Oh.
Audible and an ebook.
Oh.
So I bought it through Kindle, and then I got the audiobook alongside of it because I had a free credit. So I got both. And it's actually kind of fun to see the integration with Kindle and Audible, since they're both in the same ecosystem, that if I read any through the Kindle app and then switched to Audible, Audible would actually update to where I was. And then vice versa.
Oh, very cool.
At least at the same page. Maybe not the exact paragraph, but close enough. So it was kind of interesting to be able to switch back and forth between the two.
What's the genre?
Paranormal, horror.
It's not a graphic novel.
This is the actual novel, not the graphic novel or not.
Because is there a graphic novel of this?
There is.
Okay. Have you read the graphic novel?
I have thumbed through it. I wouldn't say I actually read it.
Okay.
Noticed it followed the movie very closely. I'm not actually sure which came first. I believe the novel came first.
Okay.
I'd have to double check that.
And so this is a Japanese translation?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So why'd you pick it up?
Honestly, because I didn't know it was a novel until talking with Casey, and she told me about it, and so decided to pick it up and go through that, and very happy that I did.
So what were your first thoughts?
First thoughts are that it was a very good adaptation with the movie versus the novel. It's pretty spot on, but then you start noticing the differences, and you always follow the same adage that the book is always better. There really weren't too many things changed. There were some, probably from more streamlining of the movie, but they didn't lose any of the feeling. And there actually are some things in the movie that actually added more gravitas to the scene. So it was an interesting dynamic to have both the movie in mind while going through the book as well.
So you have seen the movie before you read the book? Okay.
Many times. One of my favorites.
Casey?
Well, he said that he also audioed it. So what did the narrator sound like?
Sounded like a more gangly version of Roy Dutree. I guess is the only way I can put it.
Because when I read the book, I think of Dee's voice in my head, right? Because I also watched the movie first before the books. So I hear Dee speaking as his voice throughout this entire book, or the voice of his hand. So did this narrator give any kind of ambiance to...
He did a very good job changing his voice up, and yeah, he definitely channeled the movie quite a bit with how he spoke. And it's described in the book as well, as how he spoke low and very mature for his age. So he really did bring that to the voice as he read the parts. But But he also did well with everyone else too, with his inflections with the noble Count Magnus Lee and the Reagan side and these other characters. He really did change it up enough to really give persona to the voices for the audiobook. I'm actually trying to look up right now the narrator.
Okay, and then before you continue with Rachel and her questions, I think you need to give a summary or a backstory of what the book is about, because
Paul Boymer is who narrated. Backstory for the story: we are in the far-flung future. I think 20,000 years in the future, post-apocalyptic events. Several. World is completely different, and at one point on the verge of extinction, humanity is, after humanity pretty much exterminated all other life on the planet, including like feed animals and stuff like that. And I believe it even said that there was even problems with the agriculture as well, until a race of what they like to call nobles, which is a fun little allusion to some class systems as well. But they're essentially vampires in all senses. The nobles are just another word for vampire, and they use the term interchangeably in the book as well. Vampire would be the creature, noble would be the culture, the actual groups. So nobles had basically taken over the world and brought it back from the brink, and then humanity was brought back because of that. Humanity then ended up coming back and rebelling against the nobles. Nobles are kind of pushed to the side, but we're still powerful and technologically more advanced than human. In this case, most of the humans are pretty much just either living in one major megatropolis at the capital city or living in little podunk farming towns outside in various regions, while the nobles or the vampires are living in castles with lots of technology and satellites in space to track people and lasers and artificially created life forms. So not only are they just the typical vampires, but now they're also like the technologically advanced, almost cyberpunk vampires as well. So
back to you, Rachel.
This is set in the year 1999. No, it is set in the year
I think you're missing a number there.
No,
yeah,
no,
there's another 9.
9. No, it's. I'm reading the fact check. That sometime in 1999, the nuclear war occurred.
Yeah, that's the beginning of where everything went.
Right.
Yeah, that's the apocalyptic event that led to, but the story of Vampire Hunter D takes place 20,000 years beyond that.
Wasn't this written in the 1940s by the author during World War II?
I don't believe so, because in the back of the book, the author actually starts crediting 1950s movies with the literally the Dracula movies with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing as some of his influences.
Let me unravel that for you. So the original books in Japanese were written during World War II, and this is about what he thought was going to be happening after World War II. What you're reading is the translation. The author who did the translation was translating the books while watching those movies from the 50s.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so the whole premise or the back underlying feel of this is supposed to be representative of him being a soldier in World War II, a Japanese soldier. He's a Japanese soldier in World War II, and this is what he thinks is going to happen to the world.
Okay.
They know. There's a lot of layers in this. And I just found out there's a video game. I'm like, there is?
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that part, but I'm not in the game world. Sorry, Rachel. Continue.
That's okay. I'm off topic, but I'm on topic, but off topic. I guess this is a series.
Mm-hmm. This is the first book in the series. Yeah.
There are many of these. Actually, the first one was published in 1983 in Japan.
I know we're all backstorying now. Continue.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna stop. So, would you read more in the series?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. The story is really well told. And I think one of the things I like about it also is I really loved the movie. and then bring into it now the book is very similar and expanded upon a lot of stuff, especially when you get a lot more of the world building. Especially the movie doesn't go into where the world got to where it is, or like why the nobles were so much more technologically advanced.
Why is the movie just based on the first novel?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the first novel and first manga.
Is there only one movie?
I believe there's 2 or 3. I know there's Vampire Hunter D, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, and I thought there was another one, but I'm not sure. I know there's at least 2.
So how would you describe the author's writing style?
If you go to any writing class that teach you conventions of modern day writing, none of them are in this book.
Okay.
And yet it still stands as an amazing book to read. He doesn't force himself when the author's using and remember this is the translated version too, so I'm not sure how much of this relates to the original or is adapted, but the third person omniscient is truly third person omniscient. He's not locking into any single viewpoint, and the author is telling you things that is not even perceivable by the characters themselves, like filling in backstories to let you know, like, oh well, this hand flew over here, but unbeknownst to them it was wiggling around and doing all this stuff. It's like no one else saw that. But you're still hearing about it.
It's funny that you say that, because I'm sitting here running through in my head the amount of books that I've read recently that hardly anybody writes third person omniscient anymore. Not true omniscient. Yeah, they'll usually kind of lay into that, but still give you very perspective based. Well, yeah, like this chapter is all told from this character, and this chapter is all told from this character. Like you don't like an overarching omniscient narrator anymore. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I would really stood out to me too was the lack of the whole show and tell, or show don't tell, I guess is a good way to put it. Okay. There, like half the book is literally just like, and the move was spectacular. Okay, how? It was a magnificent display. Sure. It really lays into that, but that's part of the style too, because it's really trying to hammer in these tropes of, the beautiful, magnificent, awe-inspiring, the awesome powers and abilities of these creatures and whatnot. And there is a heavy bit of repetition of certain things too. Like they really loved telling you how the werewolf could run at half the speed of sound. I swear it mentions it at least 12 times, and it only happened once in the book, but they mention it constantly. Have more than just like, as far as magical otherworldly creatures go, we have more than just vampires. Oh yeah, it's a true, like, it's Western style horror. I don't even want to say Western style horror. It's Western style vampirism meets Japanese horror as far as creatures are concerned, like abominations, mist monsters, all sorts of stuff. So, but it's also like kind of a hybrid between the two, because you have things like vampires and werewolves and the like as well. And fun note, they actually give you a little bit of understanding too. Like a lot of them aren't necessarily true werewolves. They're actually like cyborgs and android werewolves, or like genetically modified creatures. And so it's very, very like dark cyberpunk in a kind of way, but not. It's definitely leaning more into like the paranormal horror than it is the cyberpunk side of it. But it definitely could fall into a sci-fi cyberpunk kind of genre as well. I'm gonna ask Danny's question, because this was literally what I was about to ask. Is like, do the nobles keep the humans around because they need them for food? Like, do they feed on the humans? It's never outright stated, maybe alluded to, but never really explained. Okay. Yeah, they do feed on them, but doesn't seem like they really need to. That's never really said, at least I might have missed it if they did, about like the standards where the vampires are using humans as cattle and all that. Like World of Darkness or the Anne Rice books and stuff like that. Definitely not stated as that. I don't think it was the main focal point. It was a very pointed story about
one girl in particular being the focus of the head vampire in the area, the Count Magnus Lee, really wanted to take after this one girl and wanted to convert her into a vampire, and her struggle to survive and not have that happen. Meanwhile, she's having the town turn against her because she's going to bring down the Count's wrath onto the city, and does happen, as well as the fact that she's got a Dhampir, a half vampire, trying to protect her, and so she's like between a rock and a hard place, just trying to survive. And that's really the focal point of the story. So as far as like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, there's some mystery that's sprinkled in there, because there is a mystery that we're all trying to solve.
About the lineage, you mean?
Yes, regarding D, who is both vampire and human, and his origin story, and why he has a weird dude living in his hand.
Mm-hmm. That's really not... So it's alluded to a lot. It's always brought up throughout the story, but you don't get any resolution to it. And Hand doesn't even get brought up. Like, he periodic, just like in the movie too, periodically will just get in an edge. It's like, who the hell's talking? Who the hell said that? D's talking to himself and getting pissed off at it. It's like the only time D actually shows emotion. So
that kind of leads, Danny's just asking all the right questions as we lead into that. Then, so is there any romance?
One-sided? I mean, I don't know. I would definitely not say romance, more lust.
Okay.
But kind of plays into the whole vampiric paranormal ideal of that. I mean, you have the Magnus Lee, Count Lee, lusting after the human. You have the jackass Greco, who's lusting after the same girl.
But D is never involved romantically.
Correct. D doesn't let himself, because there's problematics being a Dhampir. That the closest he actually got was the main girl Doris throwing herself at D, and problematically for me, but at the same time I understand it in the story, she doesn't have enough to pay D, so she literally offers herself as payment. And at one point she's like, we're all gonna die, I might not be able to pay you, so let's do it now. And he has to just like smother her in his chest, like, hold on, let's let this wave of I want to bite your neck and suck all your blood feeling kind of pass over him. So throughout the book, he doesn't really ever let himself fall into that. In fact, he stays very distant, very cold to everybody. Like I mentioned earlier, the only time he shows any real emotion was that one scene, and it's really glossed over because it does kind of take her perspective and doesn't explain what he's going through until he just says, okay, I'm okay now. They actually do a better job of the movie with that scene, actually showing him where he's actually like head rearing back, fighting, his teeth are coming out. I think the visuals of the movie really helped that scene hit harder in the book. Had I not seen it first, I don't know that it would have been as impactful.
Do you have a favorite character?
Probably her little brother. He's an 8-year-old little spastic jumpstart who just has no filter and will just tell people how it is, and he's just raring to go at all times. So I kind of really appreciate that character a lot in the story, because I think that actually kind of helped endear D to Doris and that family, because Doris was trying to do right by her brother and they were just trying to survive. So I think that's what kind of led him to help out without actually, taking part of that whole deal, what she offered.
What would you say the most powerful scene was?
There's a couple of really good moments. So something I noticed a lot is that D is a absolute Mary Stew. Like, you throw anything you want at him, he's just, oh, magically he survives. Oh, look, he's dead. Oh wait, no, he lives because magic. I don't think a lot of the scenes didn't hit as hard because I already kind of knew they were there from watching the movie.
Did reading the book change your perspective? Since you already knew the story, you'd seen the movie, did reading the book change your perspective on anything? Did it add anything, take anything? Like, I know you talked about the movie did a better job with the visual, but did reading the book add anything to your perspective of the story?
Absolutely. The world building in the story in the book definitely helps you understand what's going on more in the world of the movie. The movie does not focus on the world building like at all. It's just showing it to you. It's fun. It's cool. It's like, oh wow, robot horse. But why is it a robot horse? Now you know why there's a robot horse, because horse is pretty much gone from the world. Also, there were some changes in sort of the streamlining I'd mentioned earlier too. Shh. Yeah, he's talking. Okay. Yeah. Hi. See? Sorry.
I do appreciate that this is like his 7th hat situation or head covering.
He's got a strong hat game.
It is fantastic. His hat game is on point.
What? Okay, in a minute. Sorry. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought.
It changed your perspective.
And there's a lot of things too that the movie didn't explain. Specifically the oh man, my brain is blanking now. The time candles. I can't remember what they're called. But they reference them in the movie and they show it to you and it plays out almost the same way. A little different in kind of character paths, but the end results are all the same. But like what the candles actually do, you just assume like, okay, these things affect vampires. Doesn't really explain how, but the book does explain how. It tells you exactly how they work. It gets used a lot more in the book as well. So that now you go back and watch the movies, there's going to be a lot more understanding about like what's going on with that and why. Like, I guess you call them MacGuffin, not really, but why these magical items are more important and how they work.
I'm going to take Casey's question and expand it just a little bit. So if you had to choose, would you watch the movie, listen to the book, or read the book? Pick one.
I would read the book.
Why?
And well, there were illustrations in the book, which were nice to have. Doing the audiobook, you're not going to get that. Two, some of the voices clashed a little bit in my mind, what they would sound like, especially after when going back and forth between the book and the audio book. It was really weird to hear the voice. I was kind of thinking, especially for the Larmika, the Count's daughter, I had a voice and kind of an image in her head, in my mind, about what she looked like, and then hearing the audiobook, you hear a completely different voice. And then if you go back and watch the movie, she's a very, very specifically stylized Japanese manga style of character that is vastly different than the way I would picture as well. Jarringly so. So yeah, I think reading the book allows your brain imaging to kind of keep it more in line with what you would expect versus when you start having other people's visions in line with you too. Especially even D's outfit, and he literally just wears, like in the movie, he's literally just wearing like skin tight skin suit with a utility belt and a cloak. Not exactly what I would expect a vampire hunter to be wearing, in this world where, demons and werewolves are attacking you left and right. Lycra bodysuit is probably not the most ideal thing for hard travel. Just gonna say.
We like a man in spandex. It's so rock and roll.
Danny asked, did the book go into Dee's backstory more than the movie did?
Absolutely. But at the same time, it's hiding a lot of his backstory as well. Rowan, no. Go watch it out there, please. His lineage and his backstory are very much a guarded secret, and it's definitely, I'm assuming, because I haven't read them or seen the other stuff, and I know the movie is different from the books as well, the second movie. But his lineage definitely seems like it's going to be that kind of long play story arc.
I'm going to let you know 20 plus books into the novels. We're still waiting to find out.
They allude to it really hard.
They do. I know. Where do you think his lineage is?
Well, they already are flat out. Rowan. Sorry. About ready to get dad voice. I will mute if I have to.
It's okay. He's excited because his trunk or treat is tonight, so we know.
Go to mama. Rowan, go to mama. So with his lineage, it's alluded to. They mentioned that he is part of the sacred ancestor, who is the guy who kind of not only was there the original founding of the race, but also helped push it towards its kind of quote unquote apex, and even trying to figure out its survivability, including even that he might have been purposely creating Dhampirs, and that D is most likely one of them. But there's nothing solid. They're really hiding it. The author is definitely playing a long game with that.
And you will get, I promise, keep reading, because you will keep getting all the clues. It narrows it down.
I mean, the one lady flat out asked him, does D stand for Dracula? Like, at one point. So, it's basically just, yeah, they're teasing a carrot in front of you the entire time. But honestly, that's part of D. D's persona is that character who isn't going to say anything. He's going to subvert your expectations at almost every turn. I mean, yeah, he's a Mary Stu, but he's still getting thrown into situations. He does have one problem that he has to help solving. I won't spoil that one, but you've seen the movie, you know what the hand is. But yeah, there's a lot of times too where it's just like the characters will be yelling at him and trying to provoke him, and they'll say like, and D said nothing. So,
I wish that I could always have that stone cold face when, keep my cool.
Yeah, he doesn't emote, but for like 4 times throughout the entire book. 3 of them are at his hand. And then the one time where Doris drops the towel, as it were. I think she literally did drop a towel and throw herself at him.
I mean, I love D.
Who would you recommend this book to?
Anybody who's into if you love the old style of vampire storytelling, like the Bela Lugosi and the Christopher Lee age and stuff like that, it definitely falls into that kind of vampiric story. Definitely where they are like the sinister, dark, evil that you have to deal with, and kind of along the same lines with D being a Dhampir, being the kind of middle way between human and creatures, so he doesn't really fit into either. It's a great story for kind of riding that line. And if you can get over, like I said, some of the show don't tell and all the conventions we have now, this book doesn't follow any of them. So if you can get past that, as far as who could read it, if you like any of the paranormal type stuff, if you're really into those vampiric powers, like you like your Anne Rice's and stuff like that, you'll probably be into this. It's light sci-fi, cyberpunkish as well, so I think fans of that series might be okay with it. But if you're into more of the darker paranormal stories, it's probably a good read for you.
How many stars would you give it out of 5?
4.
Okay. Solid.
Very solid. Like I said, there's just a couple of problems with just a lot of repetition, and it could just be, honestly, it might be just lost in translation between your original Japanese. And yeah, there are some parts that just don't hit that hard, that could have hit harder. And I think there's a lot of illusion, especially the way the Japanese storytelling is done. There's a lot of allusion to things without explaining to it and handing it to you. And I think that might have been part of the problem with the translation as well. But I do love some of the allusions too, with the nobility being more of a class differential, as well as not just like these are vampires, but the play on words with using nobility could also kind of play into like the history of like samurai versus the working class, the peasant class and the farmer class and stuff like that.
Casey has another great question. Who would you cosplay as?
Either Greco or Ray Gensai.
Shocking.
Just because I say Greco just because he is such a flamboyant, just ass pinch. It's the only way I can really describe him. Like, he's not really a threat. He can kind of be threatening, but he's not really a threat because he's always kind of like the guy like, I'm big, I get laid out like every step of the way. But he's just a flamboyant jackass. I think I could have a lot of fun just impersonating that, personifying that. Plus, he gets power armor at one point. Who doesn't want to wear power armor? So yeah, I'd stay Greco.
Any other questions about Vampire D? Vampire Hunter D. Sorry, I knew that. No? All right.
So what's Jerry reading? What's up and coming?
I am reading another non-fiction, just Feng Shui Modern by Cliff Tan. He goes by the handle @DearModern on TikTok and YouTube. And if you haven't ever watched his videos, the guy is amazing for just designing rooms and stuff like that. Like, he could be making millions of dollars selling to, you know, high profile clients, but instead he actually chooses to help very lower end just to be happy. So, and the dude is just spastic, hyper, and a little spicy, and it's perfect. So if you're not interested in feng shui or reading his book, definitely go check out his social medias, @DearModern. Just, they're entertaining even if you don't care about room layouts and stuff.
Dear Modern, like DEAR?
Yes.
Modern.
Yep.
I love it. You know what, Amber, we don't know what you're reading. What's your up and coming? Amber, unmute yourself. Oh, okay. Amber still muted. That's okay. I'm looking up at, there she is. What do you have?
There we go. Oh. I'm gonna finish that Plated Prisoner series since there's 6 books and I'm on the 5th one, halfway done with the 5th one. So I'm gonna finish reading that. And then I don't know what is up next because usually it's just random.
You just pick your books based on inspiration.
Finish that out.
I love that. I love that.
Pretty much, or something that sounds good. Yeah. And then my sister reads a lot of books too, so sometimes she'll suggest a book or a booker. So usually get some from her too.
Well, have sister join us. Our next book club is November 30th, so everybody mark your calendar. I think she would love it.
Okay.
Any chance to see her sister, I'm sure.
I think so. I told her about it. Right. Yeah, I told her about it. She's taking our dog, Nikki, over to see some friends today. Because we're like Randy and Ash. Because we're hoping that they get along. So, because they offer to possibly watch her when she comes and visits. So we'll see.
I love that. So now, Rachel, there's the whole book journaling question that's out there. And I think if you want to just give us a brief overview and show and tell about what your book journal, your current one is like, or give us the resources, but I know that Danny for sure is headed into a physical book journal.
Yeah, hold on. Let me take off the background. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure you know how to do all the things because you're
Yeah.
a teacher and stuff.
Well,
like I could just hold up my book and be like, this is mine. My advice in the last podcast when she asked the question is, what advice do I give about book journaling? Guys, go bigger than you think.
Yes, definitely. And if you
It's not big enough.
If you think you have enough pages, you don't. I've learned, even this year, I thought that I had planned correctly and I had enough, and I don't. So, yeah, there's that.
So how did you find, while you're looking for what you're doing, how did you get into this book journaling part?
On the TikToks, I hate to admit, I totally just was scrolling on TikTok, on Booktok, looking for book recommendations, and I started seeing people do all of these crazy book journals. So I was like, I like scrapbooking, not that so I just jumped in it. I'm getting on my phone so I can show you better with my phone. Hold on.
Recording in progress.
That's me. Hold on.
She's in progress.
Hold on. Okay. Am I yes. Okay. Am I done echoing? Hold on.
I like the echo.
Am I done echoing? Yes, I'm done echoing.
Yeah.
All right. Let me turn
Echo.
Do.
Look, guys, she's way more advanced technologically than I am.
Well, I used to do this with when we were teaching virtually. So this is last year's book journal. This is probably a better angle if you guys can see that. So I start with just like, this is my book count. And again, I thought I had enough. I didn't. I had to add an extra page. So yeah. So there's my book count. And then I have my rating section. Woo-hoo. And then I track when I finish. This is like a pixel. So I track when I finish a book. I love being able to track all the. This is the way we should do it. These are all the books I've read, the authors, and the dates I finished it. This is my favorite part. Woo! My bookshelf. And then I track alphabet. It's just a bunch of different challenges. I have a book bracket like each month, which was the best book. Number of pages read. The best thing that I like the most is, I don't know if you guys can, these are my reviews. So I just title, I've got some good quotes, and I get a review in there and how many stars. And that's my favorite part of my book journal. And then I can keep track of what I read, how I read. Oh, there's Lisa Jewell. That's the other book I was talking about. Oh, looks like I did give it 5 stars. Ooh.
Yeah, so you really like her.
I like her. So yeah. And then I just track what I'm reading throughout the month. I do a TBR, but like you can tell from this TBR, I only actually read 3 of the books off the TBR because I get distracted. But yeah, that was a terrible book. But yeah. And then I track what I get as an advanced reader copy. And if you guys ever want to know about advanced reader copies, ask away, because it's free books. I mean, you can't beat that. So I track that, and then I track what I get from the library. And then ultimately I'm going to put how much I saved in not purchasing books, but getting advanced reader copies. Or, yeah. That's like a quickie quick. Like there's more
quick. Can you show them your bingo challenge? we do map trackers. She tracks a lot more than I track, but we do our own challenges too. Like we do an alphabet challenge, but the bingo challenge I find interesting.
So I actually have 4 bingo challenges. And I don't think I've actually hit bingo. No, I have over here. This one I hit bingo. So I just find different things and I make a bingo challenge at the beginning of each year. Like, a book that was published this year, a book with a mythological creature, a scary book, reread a favorite, a book where the main character is a person of color, a book that made you cry, 5 or more words in a title, finish a series, definitely failed on that, holiday theme, book with multiple points of view. So just different things. And I try to come up with a reward for myself if I get bingo. So that's my book bingo.
Well, thanks.
So, yeah. And my TBR that I've literally crossed nothing off of. That's embarrassing.
So your book journals can get as intense as you want them to be or as basic as just doing the review pages.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be more organized this year. Like I've got stuff in the back that I'm not putting in the back this year. Like all the library stuff, all of that's going in the front this year.
So go on the Booktube, go on the Booktok, go to our YouTube channel, and you can see how I put together my 2026, and then Rachel's putting hers together and we'll post her videos. But the book journaling is fun because it's like scrapbooking and coloring.
But it makes me like read more intentionally, especially when I start like tracking my genres. Like I'm realizing, there's a heck of a lot of mystery and thriller in here. But I realized I needed some graphic novels in my life. So I was able to add some graphic novels in. Just kind of, it gives me a reason to be more intentional.
Oh, Danny wants to know what's your favorite genre.
I go back and forth between, I'm calling it romantasy and, sorry, I muted myself. Romantasy and mystery thriller.
Which I love that. Now, when you guys are doing your journaling, we said that fictional podcasts also count. And yes, fan fiction does count, guys. Fan fiction short stories can count. Because you're reading. We can judge a fan.
I'll count a short story. Why am I?
Right? Because it's a short story, usually.
But fan fiction?
Oh, you're going to be on Jerry's side? Jerry says no. I say yes. Danny wants it to count.
Fan fiction totally counts. That's a large chunk of my reading for the year.
Just saying, create your own IP.
We should judge and review the fan fiction because then maybe they'll stop writing it or publish it.
Okay, 90% of fan fiction is just someone else taking someone else's story that they poured their heart and soul into and trying to mishmatch people so that they can basically press uglies together.
Mine is smut, but with plot. I like smut with plot.
So exactly like I said.
Amber.
There's no such thing as an original idea. It's already been thought of.
Amber, where are you in fan fiction?
I've read some good ones, so I feel like I'm kind of in between Danny and Jerry on that because some of them are really good. Some of them though I'm just like, yeah, this should just stayed this like where it was, But like I said, I have read some good ones. I'm like, I wish this kind of would turn into,
This is a great new book. Great new debate, Rachel. Novels, novellas, and chapbooks. But now, where does fan fiction go?
Chapbooks. I don't believe in chapbooks. I don't believe in chapbooks, and I don't believe in fan fiction. I know there's plenty of people who would disagree with me, and including my daughter. But I need a published book, even if it's self-published. I need a published book.
That's so interesting to me because I want to know for ARCs, right? An advanced reader copy. Not all of them are published yet, right?
But they all have a publishing company.
But they might choose not to publish it based on
no,
reviews?
they're going to publication. It's a done deal. They're giving us, you're getting an advanced reader copy so they can get reviews. They want the reviews to pop up on Amazon when even before the book's published. So when people are looking at books, even though the book isn't published yet, there's still 45 reviews. So no, it's a done deal. When you're getting an ARC, it's a done deal. It's getting published.
Okay. Oh, I will tell you what I'm tracking on the Google is that people are putting fan fiction in their book journals. And let's be for real. Brent Spiner's book's called Fan Fiction.
That's a published book by a publishing
and an original
company.
story. And an original story.
I'm going to fight for you, Danny.
And I love that book.
I know. I love it
I will
too.
continue to track my fan fiction stories.
I think that you should. I'm going to find out. I'm going to figure out how you put that in your journal, review it, or maybe do a fan fiction tracker. And just can we at least agree that you can do a fan fiction tracker and then just give it stars?
It's your journal.
I just track it and I write
There you go,
It'll
Danny.
be called
do
the
it.
Pages of Shame.
The Pages of Shame.
I think that is if you have to title a section, I think it should definitely be a section that's titled Pages of Shame and then put them all in there. I totally approve.
So Amazon actually sells a fan fiction book journal for journaling your fan fiction reads. That's specific to that genre.
No. Okay, so I try really hard not to be judgmental, but I'm going to let it all out right now.
Do it.
I have no problems, none at all, journaling fan fiction in your own creative space journal. Do not buy a reading journal that's already got everything done for you. That takes away, then you're falling into someone else's box.
Yeah.
You don't want to put yourself in someone else's box. Be creative. Do your own thing.
Doesn't it kind of follow along with fan fiction though? Like
it does.
Which
it does seem par for the course.
I like do your own thing. That's great, but like you're gonna go buy a journal that's like somebody
for fan fiction, right?
For fan fiction. I mean, I know there's journals out there that are book journals out there, but no.
So Rachel,
why would you use someone else's journal when you could be writing your own characters?
So basically, friends, I think the consensus is you can journal your fan fiction in your pre-made fan fiction journal, period. That's how you're going to fan fiction the whole thing. But for everybody else in the reading world, I guess, we're just, and I love my book journal. And Rachel, like I said, I used to be an avid reader all the time. And then this just got me back into being that reader. So it just really does bring you into intentional reading. But I will say with Night Vale, I stopped journaling Night Vale, but I do track the series and I do rate it. And it is a fictional podcast, but there's like 900 episodes or something like that. I don't want to write about all those episodes. I'll just track it and then maybe talk about it from memory. But you're right. It's your journal. Do what you want.
Embrace it.
Oh my goodness, guys! Do you have any
washi tape?
Washi tape. That's one of the episodes. Washi or wasabi?
Wasabi tape.
Wasabi tape. If you don't know what that is, look it up, guys, or ask Rachel. She'll tell you everything. Do you guys have any other questions? Does anybody have, what's your Halloween plans, friends?
We are taking the boy to his trunk or treat tonight, where he can get to show his Luigi off.
I love that. Are you dressing up next to him?
No. I don't think anybody wants it. We should dress up for this next year, though.
Okay, I like that. Oh, you mean for book club?
Next October.
Perfect. I love it.
So not only talk about your book, but who you're dressed as.
Perfect.
Who are you wearing?
Come as your favorite book character.
Perfect.
I love that. All right, friends. Well, Rachel, anything else?
I have nothing.
That's amazing. Well, thank you all for coming and joining us on a beautiful Sunday. We look forward to seeing you next month. Bring your favorite book. It's going to be after Turkey Day, so we all might be in food coma still. Do not know. But until then, guys, have an amazing rest of your day today. That's the ink.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.
That's a wrap. Time to close the book on today's episode. I'm Rachel. And I'm Casey. If you had fun, hit the like, follow, and subscribe. Make sure you click on the bell icon. You can also email us at spilledinkincofeeshow@gmail.com. Send us your questions, tell us what you're reading, or share what we should dive into. Until next time, keep your coffee hot and your pages turning. Bye. Guys.